It started on my 8th day. 8 days into a new job, in a new town, surrounded by 5 strangers in a cozy cupcake shop that smelled like vanilla frosting and burnt sugar. I was hopeful, quiet, polite, just trying to find my place. But by the 2nd hour of the morning shift, she struck again. "Morning, Slim." Her voice was always coated in sarcasm, sugar-laced and stinging. And I smiled, politely, again, like I always did. Even though every time she said it, Slim, it twisted something in my chest. Like she wasn't just noticing my body, she was naming it, owning it, mocking it. And I'd asked her again and again to stop. But she didn't, because in her words, "It's my mouth. I can say what I want." That was yesterday. Today, I said it back. And everything exploded. I'm 5'9", 115 pounds. Thin? Yes, I know that. It's written all over me. I eat well. I don't starve myself. But this is my body, and it's mine, just like hers is hers. But she never once called me by my name. Not once in 8 days. Only Slim. Or worse, Toothpick. Once, I even heard her say to someone across the room, "Go ask Toothpick over there." I remember freezing mid-task, holding a tray of vanilla bean cupcakes, like maybe I hadn't heard right. But I had. It wasn't friendly. It wasn't funny. It was constant. "You need meat on your bones. You should eat more. You're so skinny, girl. I bet the wind knocks you over." And I smiled. I smiled and asked her, gently, kindly, to please stop. But she didn't, because she had decided that being called skinny was a compliment. And since I was slim, I didn't get to be offended, because in her mind, I was lucky. And lucky people don't get to have feelings. Let me be clear. This wasn't a power struggle. It wasn't a workplace rivalry. It was bullying. Plain and simple. I was new. I was quiet. I was thinner than her. And that made me a target. The manager? Barely around. I saw him twice since I started. When I brought it to his attention, before anything happened, before I said a single word in retaliation, I asked him, "Can you please talk to her? I've tried. She won't stop. It feels like harassment." And he just shrugged. "You girls can handle it. It's a high school issue. Figure it out." I remember standing there, stunned. This wasn't high school, but it sure started to feel like it. So I did what he said. I handled it myself. This morning, as she waltzed in, she didn't hesitate. "Morning, Slim." And I didn't even think. I just matched her. "Morning, Chunky." She stopped cold, dead in her tracks, eyes wide, silence. And then she started to cry. Tears, right there, in front of everyone. And suddenly, I was the villain. Our coworkers, all 4 of them, turned on me instantly. "You didn't have to say that. That was really uncalled for. You should apologize. Being called fat isn't the same. Being called skinny is a compliment." And I just stood there, in this tiny bakery, with the smell of fresh scones in the air, and everyone looking at me like I was some monster. Because I said one word. One word. After 8 days of being diminished and picked apart. After asking for basic respect. After being ignored. All I said was, "Chunky." And now, I'm the bad guy. Here's what no one seems to understand. I didn't say it to hurt her. I said it to show her what it feels like. To be reduced. To be commented on. To be known not by your name, not by your work, not by your kindness, but by your body. She did it to me. Every day. For over a week. And no one said a thing. Not when she called me Toothpick. Not when she said, "You need to eat something." Not when she said, "You need some meat on those bones." not once. But the second I gave her the mirror, the moment I let her see herself through the same lens, suddenly, it was cruel. I won't pretend it felt good. I didn't walk away feeling powerful. I didn't want to see her cry. I don't enjoy hurting people. But I am done being silent just to make someone else comfortable while they make me miserable. And here's the kicker. I didn't even call her fat. I didn't insult her appearance. I used the same logic she did. Playful nickname, right? One that just so happens to reference her body without her permission, just like she did to me. If slim is fair game, why isn't chunky? If it's just her mouth, then isn't it also just mine? Or does that only work when she's the one talking? Now, everyone's on her side. She's been here longer. She didn't mean it. You should take it as a compliment. She's just joking around. And when I say I didn't like it, when I say I asked her to stop, they wave it off. She didn't mean any harm. That's the part that burns the most. The implication that my boundaries don't matter, that my discomfort is less important than her tears. They all saw her cry, but no one saw me shrink. Not when I smiled through the names. Not when I stood in the break room, clutching my coffee cup, pretending it didn't sting. Not when I replayed every comment in my head at night, wondering if maybe I was being too sensitive. And now, I'm told to apologize, because I defended myself, because I spoke her language, and she finally understood how it feels, and it hurt. So now I'm left with this question that keeps echoing. Am I the asshole? Because I didn't apologize. I told them, as long as she calls me slim, I'll call her chunky. And they looked at me like I set fire to the place. But I'm tired. Tired of the double standards. Tired of pretending skinny people don't have body image issues too. Tired of acting like calling someone underweight is cute, but calling someone overweight is violence. It's not about fat or thin. It's about respect. And I asked for it. Nicely. Quietly. Repeatedly. And no one listened. Until I stopped being quiet. So, am I the asshole? What happens when we flip the mirror? When someone who's been mocked for their body, quietly, politely, over and over, finally speaks back. This story isn't just about cupcakes and coworkers. It's about the deeper tension that lives beneath our skin. The way we excuse certain forms of body shaming while condemning others. The way we tolerate harmless jokes until they cut the wrong way. What we say about someone's body, no matter how thin or thick, leaves a mark. And when someone tells us, that hurts me, we don't get to decide it doesn't. Respect isn't about intent. It's about impact. So before we laugh at someone for being too thin or too thick, before we reduce them to slim or chunky, ask yourself, are you talking to the person or just to their body? This is AITA Story Vault. If this story made you feel something, drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever been on either side of a moment like this? Let's talk. Let's listen. Let's be better. And remember, if you can't take it, don't dish it.